What's doing, people? Ryan White for High Point Music, and welcome to today's online video tutorial where we're going to break down Tracy Chapman's Fast Car. Now, this one's a pretty cool one because it's used some basic open voicings which most people have a handle on pretty early on in their guitar playing journey. So I'm going to show you a few little tips and tricks so you can recreate the same awesome feel just from 4 basic chords. So with all that said and done, let's drop today's intro and get straight into the lesson. Alright, so first thing we're going to look at today is the chords that we're going to be covering in today's tutorial. So the 4 voicings that we need for Tracy Chapman's Fast Car. First one is C major. Second one we're going to cover, people, is a G major voicing. Third one we've got coming up is an E minor 7. And fourth and final is a D major voicing there. So other important step we've got today is our capos are on the 2nd fret to boost this upper tone to get it in the same key as the track. So let's start breaking down this first part. Alright, cool. So what we've got going on pretty simply here is the only area where there's a bit of movement is on our C major. So let's jump on in and look at what we've got to do here. So our C major voicing we've got here, first finger on the 1st fret on the B string, 2nd finger comes in on the 2nd fret on the D string, 3rd finger's coming in on the 3rd fret on the A string. And what we're doing is when we're striking this one is we're going through on the bottom 5 like that. Okay, and then whilst we're doing that, after we hit that B string, watch my first finger closely here. So strike, and then the first finger is coming onto the fretboard like that. So that's a slur, incorporating a hammer on and a pull off. Okay, so 5 on, off, and pay close attention to the direction. Okay, which my finger is leaving the strings. It's more of a downward motion here, just like that. So if that's a little bit uncomfortable, just practice it, get the hang of it, and focus in on the movement of the motion, and just repeat it nice and steady. So start off slow, and as you become more familiar with that movement, obviously the speed and efficiency is going to roll into that. But as long as you follow that process, you're going to be fine. So after we do that, people, we go on our C major, we're jumping to a G major voicing here, but what we're doing is we're only targeting the D on the top note here. So the way we're voicing this chord is our first finger's on the 2nd fret on the A string there, 2nd finger comes up on the 3rd fret there, and then our 3rd finger's coming in on the 3rd fret on the B string there. And what we're doing is just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strumming through to that in open position would be a D note. So I'll show you how that fits together with the C major. We go, okay, so we're leaving off the E string with all of our work at the moment. So C major to G, and one more time. Alright, cool. Once we're making that movement really, really well, what we're going to do is, so after we've strummed through the first time, we're going to restrike roughly the D, the G, and the B strings like that. So it looks like, or more importantly sounds like, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, once more, people. Or 1, 2, 3, 4. So pay very close attention to that pattern that we're working on with our strumming, because we're going to be applying that to the next 2 voicings that we've got coming up. So I'm assuming you can do the C major to the G major very well now, and we're going to jump in and just check out our E minor 7 voicing here like this, which is our first finger on the 2nd fret on the A string, 2nd finger's on the 2nd fret on the D string, got our 3rd finger on the 3rd fret on the B string, followed by our 4th finger on the 3rd fret on the E string. And what we're doing with this one, quite simply, in our right hand, is we're getting all the way through that voicing, all 6 strings. Just like that. So that's our E minor 7 voicing. So 1, and then very simply what we're going to do after that chord there is go into our D major voicing like this, which our first finger on the 2nd fret on the G, 3rd finger's on the 3rd fret on the B string, and our 2nd finger's on the 2nd fret on the D. Targeting the bottom 4 strings here, people. Alright, and what we're doing with that, applying the same idea that we applied through our C major to G, to E minor 7, D, to G, E minor 7, D twice, and C major, Alright, so that's all the components that you're going to need for the introduction. Take it step by step, get the chord voicings learned, working well, apply the hammer on, then work on applying the movement between the chord shapes, and then lastly drop that right hand action in as I just laid out for you there, and you'll have that sounding exactly like the track, like the intro. And for us, fortunately, that covers a huge percentage of the actual material that we have to cover on our guitar for this one. Alright, cool. So the next part of the tune, people, we're going to look at is the chorus section. So this is a bit of a long one, so I'm going to break it down into 2 parts. So the first part of this we're going to look at is that's a lyric, so remember we were driving, something along to that effect. So what we've got, we're using the exact same chords from the introduction, but what we're doing is we're playing them for double the length each time. So we've got C, hit C, G, E minor 7, to D major, C, G, E minor 7, so I should point out with this one as well that I'm actually covering the main accents of the tune. So depending on what context you're playing this one in, it could be you're a solo performer, singer-songwriter, set up doing a solo gig, or you could be playing along with the track or with a group. I'm just putting the main accents there for you to lock onto, and then you can elaborate and add more rhythms into that with your own playing depending on the context. So let's put that together now. We're going to push forward, building on top of the part we've just learned. So the bit we've just covered, so G, E minor, then D, and then the next bit, to C major to D. Alright people, let's try and wrap all this together nice and steady. So 3, 4, C, D, and then back to the intro. Alright people, so that's a look at how it all fits together, and for us people, that brings us to an end of today's tutorial. So it's quite a long song, but it only uses the basic components that we've covered there to add the platform for the singer to tell the story. So if you appreciate the value of this content, people, smash those like, subscribe, and share buttons if you haven't already. If you've got any questions about anything we've covered today or anything you'd like to see coming up in future content, drop us a line in the comments section below, either here on the website where you're watching. And if you want to get my help with any challenges you're facing on the instrument, you can follow the links below and book the appropriate option for you to help you with your plan to get from where you are to where you want to be in the shortest possible time. Have an awesome time practicing this one up, people. It's a very, very iconic tune and a great one to learn on the acoustic using some great chords, covering some really cool techniques. Get at it, and I'll see you all in the next video.